that was, to
That
me,
was not to be kidding.
that was nothing compared to taking Hill 382.
Yeah.
And once we got in the meat grinder,
Then the war
that
started.
was horrible. We lost 5 company commanders alone on Company E, and I was Company F, so we were down to just 3 officers or so, and I was looking for them to put me over there as the next company commander. And every time they put one over there, he either get killed or get his leg blown off or got something happened to him, you know. So I didn't get sent over. They kept me because they felt they needed me there with my company commander, Captain Ridlin. He was a kind of an officer who was out on the front lines with his 536, we called him in those days, you know, and he'd call me back. And if I got a call from headquarters and they want to talk to him, I'd have to put him on hold so I could try to track him down. When I track him down and tell him, they want to talk to you, the colonel wants to talk to you, he says, put him on, tell him anything. I says, Captain, I can't do it. I says, he's going to talk to you. And he said, he don't want to talk to me.
Too bad we didn't have cell phones.
So anyhow, that's what happened, you know. So then he got hit. When he got hit, then of course I took the company over just for that night, you know.
What was that
And
like?
He came back the next day.
Oh, he wasn't.
Well, he was. We were working on a ridge line, and they had a circular hole right on the end of the ridge. The ridge bent around, and they had an island in the middle of a circular foxhole, and they had a machine gun on top of it. So he attacked that machine gun with 2 runners and himself, you know, and they shot the 1 runner to death, and the other one they wounded. And they didn't get him, so he jumped on the machine gun. And when he jumped on the machine gun, the Japs went down in their hole, and they threw hand grenades under him. So he said, "No, what am I going to do?" You know, so he figured the best thing he could do is get out or not try to run away. So he just jumped as high as he could. He's about 6'5", you know. He just jumped right up in the air as high as he could, brought his legs up, you know. Of course, when you do that, your private goes down, right? And when it went off, it got him all on the bottom and the end of his private, you know. So it was pretty bad.
Oh my God!
It was pretty bad. So anyhow, he had to go back to the aid station.
Man.
And while he was away that night, I took over the company, you know.
Was he all right after that, or?
Yeah, he come back the next day, you know. Of course, everything is private turned purple, pink, black, blue, all colors of the spectrum, you know. And but it was comical in a way, but it wasn't so comical, you know. So anyway, the first thing I did when I got the company was I had to find out where the 5th Division was. I had the left flank of the 4th Division, and the 5th Division was somewhere over there, but we didn't know where. So I sent out 2 patrols. I sent them out and find out where they were, and they both come back and told me they were about 75 yards to our left. Nobody in there. We can't have that. So I didn't have enough men. So I called up back and I said I needed troops to put in there, right, because of the gap that was in there. So they said, we'll send you up some. So they sent me up to 3rd Division. And I always say I was instrumental in getting the 3rd Division put into combat for the first time on Ewo. You know, whenever I meet one of the 3rd Division guys, you know, and they grab and choke me. But anyway, it's true. And then I led them into position under cover of darkness that night, you know. And then the next day, they attached us to the 3rd, and then they took off. And as the 5th went up on the left, the 4th one, they pivoted on the right, and the 3rd worked themselves into the middle, and we got into the big pork chop, you know, and it kept getting bigger. The area did.
Why it was called the pork chop?
You know, it was called a pork chop because it looked like a pork chop, you know. And
That's incredible. What amazing.
So anyway, he came back then after that, and he was all right for the rest of the battle. You know, we stayed with it. You know, But that night, that very same night, was a very hectic night for us. And Westbrook, who was my radio man, we took that ridge line, and we couldn't stay on the ridge line, so we just took and dug a little level, just place we could put the radio down and sit down, you know. And we did just that, and put the radio, and he sat one side of it, I sat the other side, and I put my carbine up above my head on the hole, you know. It wasn't a hole, it was like a, you know. And sure enough, we weren't there 5 minutes, and here comes a knee mortar. Boom! It hits my carbine and blows it all to pieces. I said to myself, now what? I don't have a weapon. I feel like I lost. I didn't have anything to use, you know. So I told Jim, I said, get that antenna down. You know, he had it up there with a red ribbon on the end of it, you know. I said, get that red ribbon down. You know, get that out. They're going to drop another one. So anyway, they didn't drop any more. So thank God for that, you know.
Man.
So we got. So I told the Jeep driver, I said, get me a carbine. I don't care where you get it, but get me one. So he got me one very, very pronto and brought it back. So that worked out fine. That's the most helpless feeling you have in the world. Be there fighting and don't have any
Plenty
weapons.
extra weapons laying around from guys that couldn't use them anymore.
Don't have any weapons to fight with.
They just grabbed them on, you know, I guess you just would take it and, wow. How old were you at this point, or?
How old
You guys,
were you?
Pardon?
how old were you guys?
How old?
Yeah.
Guess I was 20 years old.
You mean
When you were at EWO, I mean.
When we were on EWO, I
Yeah.
was 25.
I was an old man.
How old were you?
20.
20? Because I'm 83 now.
Wow,
So.
you look great.
I'm 80. So there you go.
But this, you've, and after, when did you know you had won EWO? When did you know when it was over there?
When did we know it was
Yeah.
over?
Yeah.
Well,
When we left.
well, actually, he's right. He's right. You know, when they tell you
Yeah.
that you're going to load ship, actually.
Yeah.
And that's about it. And so we were one of the first ones to leave because our commanding general was the senior commanding general, and he was later on, after the war, became commandant, you know. So that's one of the reasons we got out quick. Of course, we'd had 4 major landings in 13 months, which is more than any other Marine division in that period of time. You know, so that's their way of showing their appreciation too, you know.
Yeah, I
So
guess
they
I
let
made
us
them
go.
all.
And it
Yeah.
was hectic, very, very hectic, let's put it that way, you know. And I think about all the different things and the different times and the close shave that you had and all the times that were there. I had 2 first sergeants taken right out from under me. One was killed in the same hole with me. And the other one, the bullet was meant for me, got him, took his nose off, you know, and went past my neck, you know.
You felt the bullet go past your neck?
Yeah, it was firing from a spider trap, and this was a fellow was about like 6'3" or 4", and he was standing over from me. And when the Jap fired, he fired at an angle like this, you know, and I thought he hit my neck, you know, and it went through, and then the sergeant was like there, standing over there, you know, just took his nose right off, splattered us all with blood, you know.
Yeah, I got a bloody nose there.
That was the second first sergeant we had. So we didn't get any more after that. So
Was that at night or during the day, or?
that was just getting ready to tie in for the night. And that's why I got shot at, because I was telling them where I wanted the CP. I want you here and I want you there, and anybody they see telling, you know, giving directions, that's the one they go after. And they're right there with you. You might as well be talking to them. They're right all around you, you know. You never know when you're going to get you or not. That same thing happened on Saipan. Saipan, I was a platoon leader, and we were in the attack, and we were going up, and I had a ridge line up in front of me about 150 yards, and the company commander said, well, they want us to tie in our lines for the night. And I was on a little knoll with a
Oh, I'm
sugar
sorry.
cane furrows, you know, well, how they cultivate them and everything, fertilize them. Well, I was telling them where I wanted this squad to go there, and that squad to go there, and the machine gun opened up at us from the ridge line. And we all dropped down. I dropped down between the furrows and put my carbine out to the side, you know. And they took second aim, and raked the whole length of my body with a machine gun. Right up, kicked all that dirt all over me and everything. And when he got through, I said, well, I'm not hit. I don't feel anything, you know. So I jumped up and I ran down, definitely down behind him. And when I got down there, I looked at myself and I didn't see anything wrong. I held my carbine up and the strap was hanging over my hand. I said, that's funny. Then I looked at it, they took the clip off of the carbine.